Good morning, this is Tim Heidecker.
Hi, I'm Eric Wareheim.
We're the co-creators and writers, directors of this show that you're watching.
And I also acted in this series.
And I also acted in this series as well, did voiceover work and on-screen talent.
This is me actually acting and saying some German words that aren't real German words, but I learned from growing up.
And there's a famous title sequence that our friend Davey Foss created. Davey's in a wonderful band called Super Deluxe.
Wow, plug right off the top. It's not even a real plug.
TV Sheriff.
Well, Tim, maybe you should start with the genesis of this show. And I'll chime in when I think you've had enough to say.
Eric's now's a good time we should talk about the genesis of this show. Eric, now's a good time we should talk about the genesis of this show.
Tim, that's a great idea. We made 30 episodes of a cartoon.
Called Tom Goes to the Mayor.
You could believe it. We were in the toon biz.
We were in the cartoon business originally, and Mike Lazo called us and said, "That's enough of that." And he said, "Do you have any other ideas?" And we said, "Well, we'd like to do this show that's basically Eric and I just being idiots, like a sketch comedy show, but
we actually
different."
We actually started out in college making short comedy bits, and we put stuff on the internet and made DVDs, and that was our first passion. And Tom Goes to the Mayor is actually just one of those many comedy video bits.
Right, we weren't cartoonists per se.
We weren't in the toon biz at that stage.
No. But so we told him we wanted to do it live action, and it would basically be us on the green screen, and
we actually
pretty much what you see.
It's pretty. The show is pretty much what you're looking at.
Yeah, it is pretty much what we ended up making is what you're watching.
Yeah, we've actually we pitched this show to a bunch of networks, and a lot of them gave us a lot of notes to do things that we didn't want to do. And Adult Swim was actually said, just make your show. Yeah,
Mike, we had made this short called L.A. Guys while we were making Tom Goes to the Mayor, which was sort of a test sample of what the show might look like.
Right. Anyway. And this first episode was pretty much our pilot and very much an experiment to see how this would work.
Yeah. And the first episode went through a lot of changes, and for example, that Chippy Baby was a very last-minute addition.
Yeah. And here's something from Tom Goes to the Mayor, two of our favorite characters, which happen to be live action.
Right. Well, we said we would bring some characters back. One of the great things about doing it on Adult Swim was we could actually use these characters that we created. John C. Reilly is somebody that came in and did a voice on Tom Goes to the Mayor, and we met, and he really liked the script that we had written for that episode, and he asked if we could if we could work together on something else, and we
said, well, let us think about it.
Yeah, and we said no.
Okay.
We said no about 30 times, and he begged us.
Can I please be on your late night comedy show in between my movies that I'm making?
And we relented. He twisted our arm. He came in and brought us this amazing character, Steve Brule.
He came in with a lot of this. He had his own outfit. He teased his hair.
He bought those glasses at a Rite Aid or at a pharmacy.
Yeah, it was really fun working with John because you could tell how much fun he was having. We came in and just did a whole day of Brule. He's used to these huge budget productions, and coming over to our little office was such like a fun and a great relief for him.
John told us that the name Brule comes from when his friends were drinking too much in college. The feeling that you'd get in your stomach would be like the Brule.
Yeah.
The Brule kind of diarrhea that you'd get. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it's really disgusting. I remember laughing hard when I saw this one.
Oh, really?
That's one of my favorite Jan faces right there, too. There's a lot of double chin comedy. This is Steve when he had a little meat on him.
Yes, and a lot of editing, freeze framing just a little bit before the takes over.
Right. These are actually two actors that we hired. They're not really Tim and I.
Talk about Casey and his brother Eric, where that came from.
Well, these two guys came into the office and said, I know the show is Tim and Eric's show, but we have a bit. It's called Casey and his brother. We dance and do really funny songs. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you the real story. Tim was writing a whole record while we were trying to produce this show. I can't remember what show, but it was all this funny synthesizer music on his computer. And it was a very catchy song called Right Way to Rock. And me thinking about us as a comedy team was like, maybe
reel that in.
Yeah, why don't we reel that in and put
Use
that
it.
on TV for the show?
Right.
Tim said, I'll give it a shot. So basically it was my idea. No, and then we actually made a bunch of those.
This was your idea.
This was my
Hacky
idea.
Sack Pros.
Yeah, this was huge on the net.
This is a viral video.
Sometimes when we're writing these episodes, we'll put a little V next to ideas that we think are going to go viral.
This was an idea that I think was born out of we knew what our editor Jonathan Krisel was capable of doing, and this was like a challenge to him if we could make this very lazy shooting day.
It's very easy for us just to jump around on a green screen and point to things, and we make our editors do a lot of work by. Now you're gonna have to put a pasta dish here, and then it's gonna explode with lasers, and I'm gonna poop out a hacky sack. And this was a great little turn here.
This is a moment, a really sweet moment here. I love how many times "damn it" said here. Damn it.
Yeah.
Music from Tom Goes to the Mayor.
We recycled a lot of stuff.
So it took us a while to actually get this show made, though. We talked about it with Adult Swim for a while, and we went down to Atlanta and sat and tried to pretend to talk about what the show is going to be like. But a lot of it was just like, well, it's going to be funny.
You just got to trust us.
We're going to be in it. When it came to casting, we knew we weren't going to have a lot of seasoned sketch comedy people in the show.
We didn't want to make it feel like SNL or Mad TV.
Ding Swoots.
Now this is a real moment here that people seem to really like this bit, and this is actually a moment of desperation for Tim and I. We needed a bit. Nothing was working. We had to cut out.
In the first
Gibbons
show, we had made Gibbons and Friendly that you'll see on another part of this DVD, hopefully. And it was just it was not funny. It wasn't good. It was bad. We were bad men for making it. But that created a deficit in the show, a time deficit. Another way of saying it is a time deficit.
I just want to jump in and say that I'm also wearing a shirt, which is what Tim is wearing,
but
a product that we sell.
Flipped it.
Yeah.
Why is it dark gray, though?
Because I have some custom-made shirts because I'm an XXL and I prefer this certain brand. Wow. We sell a cheaper brand online for fans, but when it comes to an executive shirt, I need a thicker cotton because it hides some of my rolls, my breast and my belly rolls. This
was an idea Doug Lussenhop brought, which just all he had, as far as an idea goes, all he had was the name Bow. That it was a combination of a bat and
I remember he had a whole idea about a picnic.
It was going to be a cartoon. It was going to be worse than Gibbons and Friendly.
It was one of the worst comedy bits we've taken from a writer.
Eric and I looked at each other right away in the writer's room and said, "It's a garbage idea. We love the title. Let's take that.
How can we just work with just 1% of your idea and make it good?
Let's punch it up 100%, where it was at 1%. Let's make it 101%."
I remember his face. I remember
watching the idea get further away.
And his smile turned to such an intense frown. He was so bummed that his elaborate picnic cartoon didn't work.
And I think that was Bob's idea because at the time Bob was really involved in the show, and he would come in and watch cuts, and he had the idea to kind of make this commercial go a little bit further with the commercial. Not this craziness here.
But to do where you could put your bowels and all this stuff. Now look at this. This is something Tim and I did about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old technique.
We did some prank phone. We loved making prank phone calls, and we put some images of us doing funny faces.
I inherited from my uncle 1,000 bees the other day.
Oh, nice.
And here's what we want to do. I want to paint on my wall in honey, "Happy birthday spray. I'm disappointed in you," in honey, right? So I'll release the bees in the room.
And we really, I don't think we were. We didn't get very many out of that day.
No.
We got maybe like 2 or 3 out of them.
I think the main problem is when you really have to sit down and really make this funny, it's hard.
The best prank calls we ever did when we were younger were just killing time and not really thinking too much about it, just picking up the phone and, not really writing very much, just, as they say in the business, improvising, which is a technical term for
Improvato.
Improvados.
Improvato. This guy was really great. You're going to see him in season 2 of Awesome
Joey Brainer.
Show. Yeah. Flew him from Florida.
Here comes a big star of Awesome Show. His first ever appearance, obviously in the first episode, not too surprising, is Rick Dunn.
Ricky Dunn.
Talk about Rick Dick for a little bit. We call him Dick Dunn now.
We call him Dick Dunn. He's in many of the things we do.
We spent a lot of time with him off camera too.
Yeah. We cast him. We saw him walking in. We were trying to find a Tim's dad. He walked in the parking lot with that sweater on. We said, "You're in."
It's done. Rick smokes cigarettes, and it's he's been smoking for a long time, 60 years.
Stinks like my grandpa's.
Yeah,
old
and that's
smoking
the
room.
the smell of the smoke on his sweater, just standing there.
Yeah.
Still remember it.
Sorry.
Watch your cable fall. Oh, I love that.
Just an apology. An apology to end our first show.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. Sorry about what you just saw.
And Davin Wood doing a lovely reimagining of a Casey and His Brother song there at the end.
That's Tim's dad.
Oh, wow.
Someone hitting the balls right away in this show. What a broad joke for Tim and Eric bit.
I know.
But look at the spin. I think the hands up spin kind of tweaks it into a world of good.
Yeah, look at that man on a ladder.
There is Ron Stark, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a regular man that happens to act.
Mm-hmm. He wore that shirt, which was a turtleneck, short sleeve turtleneck.
He brought a bunch of other options where he said, "Well, what you're wearing is perfect."
Yeah.
So just
he knew a lot
keep
about
that on.
comedy, and he brought that to that day a lot of advice.
I remember him directing that beautiful young lady, almost lecturing her about acting. And I think he really enjoyed that.
Now, over the summer, we had made the Tom Goes to the Mayor DVD extras, and we had shot these two idiots with black turtlenecks.
Yeah.
So we're
good
very,
times.
very interested in the dark tans and black turtlenecks and that.
Just trying to explore these two guys that were thespians and had a little. Moving to Hollywood kind of changed him and I. We became obsessed with fake tans and actors.
Right.
Oh wow! I mean, how do you even talk about
really
this one?
old idea. Really old idea. I remember.
This came from a song called the Cha Cha Slide, which I used to hear all the time when I would shoot bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs. It was actually a great song. Kids would dance to it. So we had the idea to take that and tweak it, add some spice to it.
Yeah, and then we'll see soon how it talks about these complicated father-son relationships here that have always been funny to Eric and I.
Yeah, and Tim and I actually, we have pretty normal dads and pretty great childhoods.
Great relationships with our parents.
People probably think that we were horribly abused as children.
Maybe if we were abused as children, we wouldn't feel so comfortable talking about
Right.
it.
Maybe it's just easy to laugh at it because we came out okay and handsome. This is some good acting from me.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we thought, well, wouldn't it be nice for some segments to look pretty good? To look like maybe we knew what we were doing when we shot it.
What if we had a dolly shot here?
Yeah, let's show off. Let's show the money. They say in the
It's
business.
Sometimes we call it a contrast joke because what you're talking about is something silly like limp lip, but what you're looking at is a very serious actor going through an emotional time.
Talk about preparing for that. I mean, was that...
I spent the whole week thinking that you were dead. So when it came to this, I was emotionally prepared to just convey that a good
See, I don't
friend
go
is
through
lost.
that. My style is, I kind of rely on the fact that sometimes I just got it. I got what it takes, and it doesn't require a lot of prep. It just requires me to be me.
Right. It's a little annoying for me because when sometimes I'll write a segment, you won't even want to look at it until we're about to act. And
Because you're just going to spoil it.
right. I know, but you can understand how I'm a little nervous that you might not even like that.
Right, but
we
I
would
just
have to scrap the whole
what
thing.
I like to call it, I would say I lean on my prov, which is leaning on your improv technique. So here we are back with Steve Brule, change a shirt.
He went to another mock turtle. This is probably my favorite Steve Brule moment.
Mm-hmm.
He really broke down. There's a lot of breaking down in this show. Already
I
there's
love how
two
tiny
crying.
that screen gets.
Yeah. Can you imagine a comedy show with 2 crying scenes back to back? Well, here it is. And this scene was done in one take. John C. Reilly did a real freak out here, and Jana Wayne just really had to come rescue him. Just go with it.
I think what you're not going to hear a lot of on this commentary is Eric and I trying to explain what makes something funny, because that gets into some dangerous territory.
Right. Because what really is funny, it's so different for different people.
Right.
Some people would say, "Oh, Eric, your pencil-thin goatee is so hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think of that?" And I would say, "Yeah."
Others would say, I don't notice that kind of stuff because I don't even like this show. And I'm not even watching it. I'm not even watching this DVD.
I won't even if a friend sends me a YouTube clip of one of your funniest bits, I won't watch it because I don't care for it.
Yeah. And that's the corner that you're looking at there is also the corner where Eric was crying earlier. This first season, we shot the entire show out of the offices where we made Tom Goes to the Mayor, and we had very little space to do
It was
things.
like an insurance office with tiny little cubicles, and our studio was the size of a very
leopard.
tiny conference
Right,
room.
If a leopard lived in a house, it would be that size.
And it had very shallow ceilings, so when I had to act or dance, you could oftentimes see me kneeling, bending at the knees, and it's not something to look cool. It's actually very difficult to do that, and it hurts my knees.
And so here we see we've established the 3-act structure of a lot of our shows, which is Eric and I aren't necessarily hosting the show, but we'll see a little thread running through the entire episode.
There's a
And
conflict.
What a technique! I mean, it's groundbreaking, is in a word.
Well, you see it a lot in other movies and other TV shows, and that's what will make you feel comfortable watching one of our episodes. You see 2 friends, there's a huge problem, and then there's a resolution.
It's structure. It's basic structure.
So
it's TV 101.
You wrap it up. At the end of the show, you wrap it up.
We don't have the luxury of commercials, so we can't really instill act breaks into this show. We have to self-diagnose.
And we have to have a constant feeling of tension and release going, because it's nice to go to a commercial and say, phew, let me hear what these guys have to say for a while, and then back to the action. No, this is nonstop action.
Here's something where you just see, okay, I can relax. Those 2 guys are just having a little bit of fun.
I went to school with those 2 guys.
Right, I know who they are.
I've seen a guy with sideburns before, and I feel comfortable around him. And Candy, yeah, I ate Candy too.
I could appreciate that burp. You know, it's like that's a person that doesn't mind being himself. He's handsome.
Absolutely. You know, one thing I remember from this season was when I noticed you're burping a lot in Tom Goes to the Mayor, but this particular season you went to me one time. You were burping a lot. And I said, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I just had a lot of water."
Yeah, it's a water burp.
And I was like,
"Well, if you drink, see, I drink. I'm a fast man.
I think
when I do things, I do
a
them
lot of
quickly.
air comes in as
I
well.
walk quickly. I talk quickly. I make love quickly. But when I drink quickly, and a lot of air goes down with that water, creating a gas bubble. I have to release that gas through my mouth in a burp. And another Brule, and it seems like we really used a lot of Brule in the first couple of episodes. It feels
I'm
that way.
surprised actually how many we did.
But it made him an American icon.
Absolutely. Some people think it's the funniest character he's ever done, including Boogie Nights, that rap scene.
That Boogie Nights thinks that?
No, I'm just saying I think it's funnier than him and Boogie Nights, even though he's amazing in that show.
Even though you personally gave him an award for that.
Right, I did. emailed it to him. It was kind of like an animated GIF.
So you guys you'll do one sketch and then you'll just show that in your episode. Now, what we'll do is we'll break it up into two and show this a continuation later on in the episode.
Wait a second, but will it be the same joke just repeated again?
No, it'll evolve.
It'll go to a new place.
Right, it'll evolve.
At this point, people are probably so annoyed at us and are turning off the commentary track and ejecting the DVD.
And returning it to Best Buy. Yes, there's a problem with this DVD. Oh, is it a technical problem? No, it's a content problem. The commentary is full of self-satisfied jerks. There's Gibbons and Friendy. And let's see, it's a shame that we spent so much time on Gibbons and Friendy. I want that part of my life back.
Really upset about that one.
No, Eric, one technique that we used here is this isn't happening in real time. We shot your phone call, and then we shot my phone call at separate times. And
But how do you sync it up then?
Well, that's where the editors come in.
Right.
In other words, the editors take the sequence and compile them in a sort of linear narrative.
So through acting, we can pretend that we're actually talking to each other.
I don't know if I'd say through acting. Through editing, it would work.
With the use of acting, I know when to pause and wait for your line. Mm-hmm. It's a technique that I've learned, and I'm happy to share it with you on the show.
So are you going to just do randoms? Is this show just going to be full of random ideas that never connect?
No. We'll actually do a bit, and we'll break it up into 3 different things.
So there will be sort of a logic to it.
Will you guys throw, like, just some men with big hot dogs? That doesn't make sense. No, actually, we've been talking about hot dogs the whole episode, so it's not a random thing at all.
And I bet if we sold those so the bit in the beginning of the show, that's the last time we'll ever refer to that.
Actually, we'll come back to it. And I had a cup on, but his little hand somehow got in there and really gave me a shot to the balls.
I didn't know about that.
So a couple of those takes, it was very painful, and it was very hard to act in that situation, knowing that a tiny hand might.
But it's not always going to
nip.
be easy, right? I mean, a great actor is somebody that can overcome those kind of obstacles.
Yeah.
Another episode of me passing away.
But it's okay, because we'll just put a digital smile in. And that's your dad.
Hey, this is Doug.
There's Doug Lussenhop with John Krisel and Ben Berman, later to be an editor on the show. At this point in the show, just an associate producer.
Camera operator.
So if you'll recognize those hands from Sauceman's, Jon Mugar's hands again.
This was a Tom Goes to the Mayor late in the season idea that never got made and got pushed into Awesome Show. Gravy Rubbers.
Double cold open on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on the second episode. There was a little double cold open too.
And this was early in the stages of the badly timed freeze frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real set, though. That's a real red backdrop.
Yeah. Looks green screens, sort of.
It really does.
Crisp.
Where did this cat come from?
Some
Benet's animal.
What
Benet's?
was its real name?
No idea. It might have been the Benny team, actually.
You know, it's
The Benny team, because there were 2 or 3 that came.
That was a
looked like the
really
same
awesome cat, but it smelled like pup. I picked it up and it smelled like poop in my arms. But it was an amazing cat. Professional cat. They have a little clicker. Tim and I have been making cat comedy for quite a while. And tiny man comedy.
Real quiet commentary.
Did we already talk about the intro in an episode before?
A little bit.
We can talk
what do you
more
think
about it.
Real quick.
Davey made it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Oh, and we based this logo on.
No, we didn't.
That's true.
Nope.
All right.
Simple premise here.
It's the first one, right? First kids break?
This is the third episode.
No, first kids break.
Back on some Gibbons.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This was shot at Entertainium, which is a place where a lot of pornos are shot in this city.
On the weekends, it's a swing club,
Right.
and I've been there.
So I sat on that toilet. So when you write, are you still, like, you're 31 years old? Do you still write poo and pee jokes? Yeah.
But do you? I can't do it anymore.
I remember tensions were very high on the set that day at Entertaining. We had to shoot like 3 bits and we had to really rush.
Was this also the seminar
No.
Yeah, totally.
It was?
Yeah, it was the seminar.
Wow.
and the old lady at the door?
Correct.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Here's the late great Zach Galifianakis. If you're watching this.
You guys did a great job at this presentation too.
Also based on.
This is based on nothing. But I basically copied that background grid
This was shot
from a
in
video about vacuums that Jonathan
Yeah.
had.
This was shot in New York, in Brooklyn. I flew out there because Zach would refuse to come to California, and there was that fish tank in the background, and it was really, really loud.
Spoo, Crink, Warren.
Yeah, on the right, that was our artist, Spoo. Crank, who's our casting guy, producer. Warren's just an old man that we use a lot.
Wasn't this in like the basement of McSweeney's or something?
It was supposed to be in the basement at McSweeney's, and Jared and I, the guy that shot it, went down there, and it was the tiniest basement you'd ever want to shoot in, and it didn't look like anything. It just looked like a wine cellar or something. Horrible place to shoot. So we went upstairs, and there was a big reading room that we begged to use, and it worked. It just worked.
There was so much footage of him riffing.
Well, I didn't realize.
really good, though.
Sometimes you forget. You go and you try to send along the lines, but they don't really look at it. And we show up there, and there's 3 pages of a monologue that he has to say, and it was hard. It was hard to do.
He got really detailed about like how to sneak up on the
Yeah.
customers, and he's like rolling around on the floor.
That was the script.
Yeah, but it was a lot of dialogue.
Wait, Tim, you wouldn't have 2 poop and pee jokes like almost back
Like a
to
minute
back.
away from each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
That's out on Hollywood Boulevard. Right out in front of
Wedgie.
is that Wedge?
It's the first and last time I think we did anything like this. And I remember shooting this. You can see the cameras just everywhere. It was just cracking up.
So
Just
poorly
laughing.
shot.
I wouldn't
So-
say last time. There was a Zans shoot that I heard came out pretty
Pixel
good with
missing.
no audio.
Yeah.
I say, Ben, can you please fix that one camera with a pixel missing
No,
right in the
that's
center?
not-
This is like a
Okay.
case of shooting something and feeling it not working. So going like on the spot, going, get me some chocolates. I can try to
Save
put
this
some
bit.
life into this. Just get me some chocolates I can put in my mouth. One mouth.
That's my favorite shot. Scream with those people so close.
Look at that picture. Tasha.
I love you, Terry. Question mark?
And while I was shooting Zach, Eric was shooting this.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
really?
This is Doug
think
Lussenhop
so.
house. He let
it's
us
my
shoot
house.
here. Here's a young rising star, Michael Serra. You'll probably see in some movies coming out soon.
He was in Dune Buggies, right?
Oh, these brothers.
Oh, these guys,
Sandalwood brothers.
we found them on Tom Was the Mayor, right? They were extras?
No, I think their younger middle brother.
Oh,
was
yeah,
on,
yeah. That's my
Tom Was
dad's
the Mayor.
sweater on the right. And one Christmas, like the day before Christmas, I didn't have a present for him, so I bought that sweater on the streets of Philadelphia. Somehow it's made it out to
horrible.
California.
now.
Didn't you also, when you buy your dad one of those 3D paintings?
Yes,
with
I
the light
did.
behind it that you'd get at a gas station?
He didn't.
And we had Michael Cera.
Yeah,
we
I
were
don't-
like,
I don't know why I
you
did
guys
that.
are drinking wine, and then we're like, he's 19.
Oh.
He never
Yeah.
drank it.
Well, there's also prop wine that you could have gotten. If I was on set, I would have suggested that.
We sent this out for special effects. We could not do this in house.
It was not alcoholic.
Very expensive.
Another cat. That's not a professional cat.
That's just a cute cat. Now this is a parody, John. I mean, we straight ripped off something for this.
I know.
How do you feel about it? I feel like it
I
works.
loved it. We had James Blunt in there as the temp
Yeah.
on this.
It's a John Krisel masterpiece.
Bob Odenkirk's kids love this bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good for animals, and I feel like this
Children.
is designed for cats. This
Yeah.
segment, it's just
Cats
made
would
for
love
animals. that wink.
And that was a great transition, guys. How those lights come in.
That was actually much harder than it looked.
And this is my
Really?
favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite idea here that you have as a you have to watch this. You have to watch bloopers as part of your training. Why would you?
I'm so glad that Cheddar joke made it in.
Can you imagine spending all the time for a training video and then watching the bloopers of your boss?
And then one of the guys just gets up and leaves. He's had enough of it.
Getting mad at the director.
I fought for that one.
Yeah. So glad it made it.
It was great.
No. Oh no, he's sticking around.
Bloopers are the best part of videos
I
sometimes.
wanted him to do the whole thing with that mask on.
Flesh-colored tiny mask.
This is great, Zach. This is all just Zach being Zach. Bless his soul. Rest his soul.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Zach. We miss you.
I remember 80 Miles saw this transition and he just couldn't get over how far it kept going.
I should have gone through the whole rest of the episode.
What a amazing actor to put that gravy right in his beard.
Tying the story together here.
It's the wrap up.
Learning how to tell stories. This is also an entertainium. Some of these places have little mini worlds there.
These are rooms that people have sex and swing clubs, and then we just put this poor lady in this environment.
She just happened to be there
Disease-ridden.
the night before. Some good acting right there.
Thank you.
I love this footage. I think it's beautiful looking.
It's warm and golden.
Actual footage.
Shot it during golden hour.
Just ran out, shot some fun.
Classic
love
spit
that.
take there.
And
And I like that you're remembering in your flashback.
crying.
Trick photography.
We just saw a lot of.
Oh wow! Well done, guys. Well done.
Very brave to be fully nude in this.
Tim, you were wearing some sort of flesh-colored panties, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That butterfly is going to be animated, but people loved it.
Yeah.
It never was.
Sugar sweet here. Look at that hair sticking up.
I know.
Yeah.
Fix that before this goes up.
I probably said, that'll keep
I like how
out.
Eric's keeping his neck like really close.
You know why I had to do that? Because of the reflections in my glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We have
I can't
this
tell you
so-
how many
I have-
hours get spent. Turn your head just a fraction of a centimeter left.
I have to bend my knees and constantly look down for every bit. You
No one
notice?
has never noticed any reflections in your glasses.
Yeah, that's because look at that
You will
low.
notice a weird looking
Yeah.
shoulder.
There's Paul Rubens. Paul couldn't believe how small the part was that he got.
Judge, redhead.
Oh yeah,
Judge Reinhold.
redhead is out.
Doug, get back to your carrot.
Get some chips.
Oh. Well, thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you later.
Next episode. Thank you.
Peace.
Tim's dad.
Oh, we're back again. I'm with Eric Wareheim
Hi Tim.
and with our good friend David Liebe is with us.
David, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you very much, Eric. And thank you very much, Tim, for having me. What encouraged me to write this song was...
We're not at the song yet. Let's talk about the Steve Mahanahan as a special, this idea that Eric and I had for a long time, I think, Eric, right?
Of Salome?
Of Steve Mahanahan.
Yes.
Which is what we're watching now.
Steve Mahanahan.
I thought for the commentary we could talk about stuff as it's playing, and when the song, David, when the song comes on, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Salome.
Wow, this is an honor to be having someone to interview me. Oh, this is the episode that I did, the first one.
Have you seen this one yet?
I have a copy of it, and I'm very impressed with it. That's one of the best. Somebody shows some good work of me. It shows me all through the show, which I wish you all could keep me in mind for doing more of.
Well,
I was like gravy, dripping all through the show.
had you heard of us before you came in originally to record the first song?
I watched you all on Tim Goes to the Mayor, and I felt you all were very talented performers, seeing your work on Tim Goes to the Mayor. But this is the
How
first...
big that is.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, watch it. That would have been great to have been in 3D.
And I watched you...
There he is.
Here we go.
What encouraged me to write this song was I believe in the UFO phenomenon, and I had an abduction experience when I was in the military, and then out of the military, my parents moved to Park Forest, Illinois. I was abducted by a UFO, and samples of my blood and my skin were taken. Then I became friends with Colonel Wendell Stevenson, and Colonel Wendell Stevenson was telling me about the UFO phenomenon, and he was related to Ruth Elizabeth Jenks, who was a Christian Science practitioner,
Right.
and he told me that UFO phenomenon was real.
Can you talk a little bit more about your abduction? What do you remember about it?
Well, what happened is the abduction happened when I was a young teenager in the Park Forest, Illinois area.
I thought you said it was in the military.
Well, the first one happened in Park Forest, Illinois. I was a young guy back in 1968, a young boy, and I felt some.
Was it while you were asleep?
I was woken up out of sleep, and these extraterrestrials were carrying me out of the room.
What did they look like?
They were like 3 feet tall.
Oh, really?
And
Like the classic alien look.
yeah, the Cardassian grays, and they took me up in their spaceship and took samples of my hair and my skin, and then what else got me into the UFO phenomenon? What else got me greater into the UFO phenomenon is my grandmother told me I was related to Orville Wright on my Caucasian side of the Wright brothers. And my grandmother was telling me that Orville Wright got his ideas from working with a race called the Carinians.
Right.
Okay, I asked my favorite UFO investigator, Colonel Wendell Stevenson, about the Carinians, and he told me that the Carinians had been working with a guy named Bob in the Massachusetts area, and then he sent me a tape about them. And I noticed that the same hieroglyphs that were on the drawings of the airplane that Orville Wright had were the same kind of drawings that were and lettering and alphabet and numbers that were on Colonel Wendell Stevenson's tape. And then then my grandmother told me that the Carinians, when they say hi and goodbye, they say Salome.
Right.
And another way they greet each other is to say, go into the light until we meet again. And then I saw the same commentary on Colonel Wendell Stevenson's tape. So then I said, well, this would be good as a song, to write a song about this. Go into the light until we meet again. But I'm amazed I found out how you all discovered me.
Well, I think we had a picture of your headshot in our office way from back in the Tom Goes to the Mayor days.
And you actually made a drawing of our old assistant, Aaron, that we posted up.
Yeah, so we were always looking at your face on our door. It was when you had a big afro.
Oh,
and
wow.
we were like, well, we should get this guy in and see if he wants to write some songs with us. And he came in and just blowed us away.
Wow, wonderful.
Now let me ask you something. We've been performing live together a lot. We did Las Vegas and
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Do you enjoy performing Salome live more, or do you like coming on the show and doing videos with us?
I like coming on and doing shows and videos with you. In fact, I want to do comedy skits with both of you together.
What's the writing process like with you? You and I get together and we come in with some ideas. Talk about that.
Well, I must say that you, Tim Heidecker, it's romantic writing songs with you because you're such a creative person, and we have a chemistry that works. Like you and Tim and Eric have a chemistry that works. That we have a chemistry that works. That
Like a shorthand, like an emotional shorthand.
yeah, and then I feel I just feel you're a creative person, and things come to me so naturally when I'm with you and writing songs with you.
Right.
I want to write some more songs with you. New UFO songs.
I know, but we gotta sort of pace that because they don't just come up automatically.
We do have a new song that we just cut called Father and Son, which we're very excited for.
Oh, I'd like to hear that. Can you play that on the tape?
We can show you later, totally.
Okay.
What do you think about this skit here that we're watching?
Well, I feel it's great. It shows your wife being his ex-wife in it,
Yeah.
and which is a twist. And I see a lot of interns in there. I see Clark in there.
This is actually the shoot where I met my wife.
Oh,
where we
wow!
met. Yeah.
What amazing grace!
There's a romantic.
Look at this.
Speaking of
Yeah.
romance,
How did you show up here?
Yeah.
I think that the Cranians were watching us on that day. They were watching us and. giving
Well, I
thumbs
believe
up.
the Corinthian. I got a phone call from a Corinthian young person that's a fan of Tim and Eric. Awesome,
Oh,
great
really?
show, great job. And they feel that they're using the song "Going to the Light Until We Meet Again" on their spaceships. They told me.
Oh, cool.
And they're using it on Star Corridor.
You know, Eric and I actually studied UFOs in college. We took a class called UFOs in American Society.
Oh wow!
That was
And
scary.
What was that professor's name?
I can't remember. But I remember the first day he said, if anyone has had any history of sexual abuse, leave now.
Yeah, because I can't have another person in the middle of my class standing up, screaming, and running out.
He told us the scariest abduction stories.
Wow! There's Judge. I feel you should put Chaney in more of your shows.
Oh, Jane, that was Jamie, our assistant.
Yeah.
Who's really very helpful.
She's very
amazing.
talented, and she's got a great personality.
Does a lot of the makeup on the show.
Oh, and she's a
She
real.
does everything.
She's
the
a
best.
real. I'm glad you all. She's wonderful, and even though I've had run-ins with Clark, I still deep down inside really like Clark.
I look
a
how
lot.
short I look here. I mean, I often look
Well,
short and small, but
I'm smaller
We
than
didn't
both
use-
of
we
you.
didn't use the blood.
Toward the end, I'm smaller than both of you.
you could say, David, though, here that I'm a reasonably sized man. I mean, I'm a 6 foot tall man. But
Yeah.
staying next to Eric, he's very tall.
But
and it makes
I'm
me look
smaller than
short.
both of you all.
I know.
David, what do you think about these two guys?
Well, I think this is good. I used to work special ed for handicapped kids, and I taught a lot of funny handicapped kids like him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's great. In fact, you're the first one to do comedy of a handicapped person.
I
feel
think
it's
we're not the
wonderful.
first people to
Yeah.
make fun of.
He's not. I
handicapped,
wouldn't say
but-
he's handy.
No, there's
handicapped.
just some medical problems he's going through.
Yeah.
He's
not-
fine at this
I think
stage.
one thing you could say, David, about our show is nobody on the show is normal.
Well, what I like about you, the way your show reminds me of the Carol Burnett show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's wonderful how you and Tim and Eric can go on to be different characters. A lot of comedians don't do that. Have that uniqueness, that creativity
Mm-hmm.
to be different people. I think that's great.
David,
Well, yeah,
if you could pick between Tim and Eric comedy and Bob Hope comedy,
I
what do you
like
think's
Tim and
better?
Eric comedy better.
Or well, it's put up against Smothers Brothers or Tim and
Well,
Eric.
I feel that you all are the new Smothers Brothers, even though you don't talk about politics. I feel that you all are the new Smothers Brothers. I like to be the new Pat Paulson, Black Style.
Now, what do you think about this particular segment? Have you seen Here She Comes before?
Oh, I like this because
that's Weird Al
because there's people. And I know that there's a lot of senior citizens that date young people in the Christian Science Church, and it reminds me of the senior citizens in the Christian Science Church that date young boys.
This
I've
lady
seen-
here, Eric, I remember was not happy to be involved in this particular moment here.
Oh no, she
She was a
wasn't.
little crabby about
Yeah,
this.
she's a little
being-
crab apple.
Being with two young guys. She should be excited about that. It makes her feel young. Oh, and he was neat singing. I felt that was great. I saw her when I was at the Hollywood Bowl in the Music Center. I said, "Didn't you work on Tim and Eric?" And she says, "I've never been dating two guys at the same time."
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
a coincidence.
But it's 2007. You could do that nowadays,
yeah,
right?
the,
Why
the
not?
Mormons do it, so why can't you all?
Right.
Well, that's slander.
Just keep it safe.
That's
You know.
slander.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to be offended.
Maybe you could
Apologize
just do
to our
a
Mormon friends.
I
quick
apologize to the Mormons. I love you, Mormons. My favorite actor is Mormon, Gary Coleman, and
Gary Coleman's your favorite actor?
Well, I like him a lot. I knew him.
Look at
so
this
many other
acting,
act-
David.
there's so
what
many
are you,
other
What are you
actors.
thinking right now?
I'm
tired.
You're a little
tired.
sleepy.
I'm sleepy. I was.
That face.
That
is
was
okay.
amazing. You just got surprised.
Oh, see I look like a midget compared to you.
I know
two.
you do look short.
You both are a lot larger.
Well, you're
than
standing
me.
in a hole at that set, right?
Tim, we don't look that far apart in this shot. It's
Yo.
just
No, it's when
But
we're,
you
it's when
see
I think
how-
I was a little bit behind you as well.
Yeah.
That kind
You
of
see
creates an
how
optical
small
illusion.
I look compared to you all. You're the Jolly Green Giant, and I'm a little
Munchkin
little
man.
black Muskin elf, little black elf.
Well, it's good having you by the office.
Well, I want
really
to
an honor.
Well, it's an honor being with both of you, and I hope that you all employ me for more work. I do apologize for in the past being late twice, and it won't happen again.
Right.
It's Tim's dad.
Just put it in your calendar.
All right. Oh, okay.
Good morning again.
We're here with Doug Lussenhop,
Good morning.
not only an editor on the show, but also a writer.
Just Doug. No John or no Ben.
Just Doug.
Just Doug on
Feels
his own.
good. Feels great.
Doug, you actually edited sports.
I did edit this one.
That was a hit for you.
Yeah, this was really fun to edit. You guys got a bunch of dudes that didn't know how to play any instruments, like the drummer, and they just kind of pounded on stuff, and then tried to make it look like I wasn't in sync.
What time of day would you usually come in during that period?
During this period?
Come in on time?
In the
or
morning.
A few minutes late?
We're on 10.
Was never
Around
an issue.
10.
Wasn't ever an issue.
No, I mean, I got
If
the
you
edit
consider
done.
10:50,
And here's these little jokes. I did these little jokes here.
Some of them.
Diamond bags, flight
There's
wheel.
my wife. There's
Sandspear.
my wife, and there's my wife.
it's your man wife and your real wife.
This was a bit that got canceled out of this episode. Dumbbells. We recycled it for this moment here.
Just extracted the good stuff.
There's a small percentage of stuff that we shoot that just gets cut out, or it becomes something that we didn't expect it to.
Surprisingly low.
Surprisingly,
considering
a lot
how
of
much
stuff
we shoot.
just works. It works the first time.
A lot of stuff is just gems, but I gotta say, a lot of stuff is just stinky, and we'll give it to a man like Doug, and we'll say, make it good.
Here's something that was just a gem from the top.
It's pure acting.
It wasn't like, oh no, it's not going to work. Let's give it to Doug.
It's like, let's have Doug make some loops and a hip hop
Yeah.
beat and make
Let's
it all
put it through
cool.
the VHS machine.
No, I didn't do this one. I
Right.
didn't need to. It was too easy. Just fell
Let's get a
together.
professional makeup artist in and get the best bald cap we can. Let's spend like a lot of time working on this.
That is a nice, smooth bald cap, Tim.
But you see it disintegrate through time. I was very unsure about this one because I just felt it was so mean.
I remember in the writing room, it
I
actually
was
took
really
a lot of
against it.
convincing to make
I
this
just thought
happen.
it was I could do that, behind closed doors all day long.
I remember how
talking
this
that
story
trash.
came together. Is Jonathan thought of this woman, this overweight woman riding her bike to work with like 100 bags tied into the
that was-
bike. And that was the idea. He's like, here's the idea. A woman's riding her bike to work. And then we all just started
Just piling on.
piling on things.
And the song at the end was sort of the moment where I said, okay, if we can have a happy ending, then you can do all this.
I just talked to a friend that is a huge fan of the show, but cannot watch this one. It must
Too much.
It hits home for her.
And there's John's Colonel, living a little bit, riding the bike.
Yeah,
Got in there.
John's Colonel.
a little Asian flair on this
John's
techno.
Major.
It's another colonel right there. I mean, what are you guys trying to say with this? That the man is mean?
The mean boss is just,
Just a mean boss.
speaking of polishing a turd.
So Doug,
I remember when I came up with this one. We were editing an episode, and I said as a joke, I have a new because I wrote Bowel. I came up with the idea of what was it?
Came up at the very beginning of the idea.
What was the original idea of Val?
The original idea was
cartoon.
like you're a bat and he's an owl, and you guys like solve kind of when people are having a problem, like they lost their keys. The bat comes and finds it with sonar. And
Look at that door. That doorknob was
kinda
actually
purpose.
that doorknob was that way in that man's house.
This
Yeah.
man worked on the show for a while, and we rented his house for the day. And in his bedroom, we did the bedroom shoot. There was adult films scattered all over the place, so our female employees had to actually take his adults and hide them, put them away. So there's probably a cleanliness issue on that.
Glen Tennis. This is
Ron
Griffith
Stark.
Park. Here's Ron Stark again. This was a difficult one.
Yeah, we actually gave this one to Eric Fensler and tried him to revoice everything.
He blew it.
He blew it.
I liked what they kept in.
See the boom shadow in every shot.
Yeah, and he puts down the little egg carton.
Problem with this for me is that we make every video is bad.
Yeah, it's hard
and
to show
this is
bad
like
videos.
purposely bad. There's Bob Odenkirk playing a really funny character.
That's 80 Miles, a very funny stand-up comedian and star of a lot of
Nice redhead.
related people. Nice man, handsome man.
One of the few redheads that I prefer to be around.
Yeah, he's even-tempered for a redhead.
Doug, you do stand up.
Sure.
What was it like meeting 80 Miles for you? Was it
He's
through
a-
the show or was it some...
Well, honestly, he's a super friendly guy. I didn't meet him when he was here. I met him actually at a comedy show that I was doing with him. And
Is it normal for you to just not engage with the guests on the show because you're too busy working on the show?
well, you guys, you don't tell me when they're coming in, and you just keep me in my editing room and don't want me to.
Now,
be
this was a
involved.
challenge for us to get Eric that small.
It hurt a lot, actually.
This is me starting to experiment with darkening my eyebrows.
That's a real disease I had
That is
for a while.
disgusting.
So we actually wrote the bit around my STD. That's Richard Dunn.
And this is another piece from Dumbbells.
This is a bit that I was very unsure of.
Oh, there's Mouth Magazine. There's another bit that never made it into the show, the Mouth Magazine shoot.
And you can see my hair is starting to grow back in from the Mahanahan shoot. But I cut that real...
That took forever to grow back.
It was like, it'll take a week. It'll take a week.
It was like 3
Took-
months
yeah.
before it looked
It was
normal.
shaved to the
That
skin.
part of the head just takes a while.
That was a parody of Jackass, which is weird because I actually love Jackass. So you're kind of parodying something you
Well,
like.
you parody stuff you love. You can't parody stuff that you hate.
More of this? Really?
Poor Stark. He looks pissed off.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's a director, but yet he thinks you need to talk like really close to the mic.
We did this thing with Bob or Bob did it with Dana Snyder for the Aqua Teen movie. I think that was the first time he did it. This Terry Mothers character.
Terry Mothers?
Danny Mothers. Who's Terry Mothers?
Terry Green is
Terry
who you're
Green.
thinking
And his signature walk-off.
And the pumpkins in the background.
Ukulele.
Oh, there's Larry.
This guy was great. I could have improvised with him all night long.
Who's doing that for you? Who's cleaning out those ears?
Oh yeah,
Who's
very
doing that?
Mary News calendar in the background of this one.
Dr. Brendelson. See that wig, that bald cap starting to show its age. Pubic curly tufts of hair in the back there. Oops.
Here goes Lair.
Ouch, and Eric, what happened there? That was a real hit, right?
Bad cut. Yeah. It actually really did.
Yeah.
It was that candy glass thing, but he gave me a good whack and I got real bloody.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked pretty good. Now we did this take maybe 17 times.
Oh, it's good I cracked up every time?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I was cracking up.
That's your
I was
signature
so laughing.
one eye closed.
Sweet lady, I love your body. You make my blood boil down inside.
Okay.
I love this video.
All right. Yeah, John did a great job.
So many dumb jokes, like me sinking and
Turns
in
into
the chocolate.
Doug, when we were making Tom Goes to the Mayor, were you 100% secure that you would be hired onto this show? Even though the only experience you had professionally was editing a cartoon, this being a live action show. Was there any doubt in your mind, even though we were friends?
Well, I started out on Tom doing all the video stuff, so really,
So it never
you know,
crossed
I
your
was
mind.
I was perfect for this show.
I wonder if Tim and Eric are going to ask me
Stepped
back.
right
There's no question.
Any doubt?
in. Well,
You have to have you can't just go in
I had a
blind.
plan B. Of course, I had a plan B.
What's your plan B?
Back to porn?
Back to the jizz biz.
Well, Doug, it was
Well,
good hanging out with you.
I wish I could be at more episodes. I mean, this is kind of a laid back one. you
Listen,
know?
there's not a lot to talk about. The show speaks for itself.
You want to do it again?
Can we do it again?
All right, then what you hear now will be what we really
Let's do
did.
a left
Second
and right.
take. Second
like,
take.
channel thing.
Oh, that would be funny. All right, we're here with our intern, one of our interns, Josh Chaney. And
Hi,
he's
guys.
sort of representing the intern body at large. The interns make up a big part of what makes the show work on a daily basis, and we respect them and love them very much. Thanks for being with us, Josh.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Eric.
Hey, Josh.
Hey.
How did you find out about this show? And did you like it?
I should say Josh is an intern on season 2, which we're shooting right now. It had nothing to do with season 1.
No.
Was not
yeah, I
involved
wasn't
in the production.
I found out about it. I had heard of Tom Goes to the Mayor, but I didn't know you guys were.
Didn't care for it.
No, I liked it,
Oh, I see.
but I didn't know that it was affiliated with this show. And somebody sent me a clip of the promo that you guys did with Casey and his brother with the Time to Go to School.
Okay.
And I lost
latched
it.
on.
I lost it. So I started watching.
Now, Josh, I remember when we did this, I was like, we need a foreign Tim and Eric here.
Okay.
And other people were like, well, it's episode 6. Can you do that already? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sick of seeing myself up here. Let's get these guys.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. To this day, still with friends. Here's Beaver Boys. Still with friends. I still say, "Here's my pepper." It's my pep. I love my show really long.
Those guys had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
No.
No. I mean, they did. We told them what the idea was, but they were not used to being told. Both were not American,
Okay.
and which makes no difference to me. But
Right.
now here's me just letting it all hang out in the gut.
You sure are.
This Beaver Boy dance was slightly inspired by this Dutch kind of dance. I can't remember what it's called.
Crunk?
You know what it's
not
Oh,
called?
an actual dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called Kansen or something.
It has a name.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly like it, but it's...
Is that why you guys gave names to your dances?
No, Doug and I were just like obsessed with this kind of dancing, which is really dumb.
What did the girls think about you guys doing that?
They were just happy to be getting work.
There's Liebe, Hart.
Yeah, this was recorded the same session as Salome was, and I think we recorded 3 songs that day, and 2 of them worked. I make these songs on a Casio keyboard that has these preset drum settings.
Yeah,
this is the same exact setting as Salome.
Salome.
And very similar chord progression. So you could almost play these on top of each other.
Just kind of a different melody.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different message. I mean, this
It
is
is a
about
completely
school,
different
and the other
message.
one's about how to say hello,
Yeah.
and goodbye, and start Kornberg.
It's just amazing what you could do with 3 chords.
When you saw David, did you think, who is this? Is a real man, or did you know about him before the show?
I want to say somewhere in my past, I think I did see the Daily Show special that he was on that kind of went into his apartment. So
Right.
I think I had an idea of him, and I knew when I first saw him, like, there's no way this guy's putting on an act. This is just how
from
he
the
is.
heart.
This is
Something
definitely
real
from the
about
heart.
him.
From the David Hart. So here we have one of our heroes, Fred Willard. Probably one of the reasons Eric and I are doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. And Fred came in, and he sort of knew about the script, but we gave it to him, and he sat in a corner by himself and read it, and he started preparing bits.
Oh, really?
Like he was mouthing the bits. He's such a seasoned actor, and he was like, "Let's go, no rehearsal." And then he just came up with the diarrhea bit, and all of this stuff was just. He's just a pro. It's
I love
amazing.
that there's like 6 people in the audience.
Yeah.
And I also love that each thing that he shows the camera is not the thing. He says it's saffron rice.
Yeah.
It's nothing that he's saying.
And you got a glimpse of the people in the trough as you're coming in on that wide shot, but I don't think you noticed it until.
No, I don't.
nice.
I don't remember noticing it when I first saw it. But yeah, all of his little inside things where he's talking about the
Yeah.
English Channel. It's totally.
It's
Brown
It's
slop.
just classic Willard, really. It's what he does.
Watch this smile coming up. There it is.
Jaded, jilted
amazing,
smile.
yeah.
Man.
This is such a treat to just let him come in here and do this, and you know how good it's going to be.
He was nice and he was cool with the whole
yeah.
idea that
Oh,
you were
yeah.
giving people slop that were
Yeah.
essentially.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's done everything. Did not even.
the guy that
Flinch
wasn't
at it.
so happy was our Billy.
Billy Williams?
Billy Crystals.
Oh, Billy Crystals, I'm
Who
sorry.
is a real actor, and if you watch the most recent season of 24, he plays one of those Russian bad guys in it.
Oh, really?
And I don't know. I think he looks like Billy Crystal.
Does he speak English or
He
Russian?
looks
Yeah.
just like Billy
He
Crystal.
does, but he was not pleased about this part here. I don't think.
But on the mouth?
But he was a good sport. And
Was there a lot?
he looks like Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm sorry, he does.
No one's
yeah.
debating it. It's perfect. This set was pretty amazing. The first season, we did not have an art director or a set designer, or anyone.
Or a stage, or any kind of
Yeah,
stage to shoot anything.
this is just some room in this insurance building that our crew made this amazing set.
These are great. You guys got a lot of
remember-
responses to this on the internet, like
Yeah.
people making their own videos even before you had that contest.
Yeah.
Part of this story about the dirty socks is from a friend of Tim and me from childhood.
Why? What happened?
It's one of our good friends. His dad started going out line dancing in country western bars. He would come home late when we were up, and he would stink like perfume, other women's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We were like, now you have to go up to your wife smelling like
You
that.
stink like other women.
You just go out like this.
The start of it, though, was my dad and my mom and dad were in the office visiting, and to prove to my parents how easy the job can be sometimes, I said, well, I'll just write a song right now. I smell my dad's dirty socks. Done. Put it on a little sticky up
I
on the
didn't
board.
know that. That's amazing.
And it made it onto the show.
Yeah.
This repetitive stuff, that's the
There's the one eye.
That's the stuff that makes me laugh
I don't
the
think that we
hardest.
did. It's funny because I think we did the one eye more around the office than on the show. So we put it in as like a reference all over the place. That didn't
Very
really have
inside
a
joke.
I have a friend who just got the biggest kick out of this, where where you're running away from the water as it's coming in.
Yeah.
And she said you have the body of a baby.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a
It's
baby.
like an out of proportion baby. Stunt work here. Good stunt
Thank
man.
you.
He's a nice guy too.
Great.
And the
great
shrimp
stuff.
comes in.
Such an emergency to get over there.
It was. I'm sure it was cold that day, and
And this guy coming up,
he was just there.
he was on the beach
he was just
watching
there.
the
Yeah, I
shoot.
asked him to.
He was just on the beach. We said, "Go up and ask him if he wants to be." Was he wearing a shirt? No, of course not.
He looked just like that when you found
Yes.
him.
Yeah, he looked just like that.
Right there. That's the one.
Lussenhop got his hands on that end.
Yeah. Oh, there's
This is funny. This
what's his
guy.
name, Milan?
You know what? I just realized, Tim, you had your shirt off in the last bit. You have your shirt off in
Yeah,
this bit.
no shirt. I think we were laughing about that at the time. That I'm not wearing my shirt in this whole show.
My favorite.
I'm fine with it.
My
This
favorite
is
part
Ron
about
Lynch.
this is I recently came in illegal possession. I want to know all the backstory of that. Like,
Right, like he got
did
this surplus of these videos.
This was a really tough concept to sell. That
Yeah.
this guy bought this other dude's fitness tapes. You know, it's super
I
complicated.
thought it was like maybe he got in a car accident and like, okay, well, I'm in development of this product.
Somehow it got willed to him or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But so
And-
much of the video is about you have to learn. You have to know how to flip. You have to know how to
Yeah,
flip
yeah.
in midair.
Yeah.
And she says it actually makes your car smaller. There's nothing in this world that would make your car
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like an optical illusion.
And the Targus comes back here and just it's this rolling storage.
And why
thing.
would you want your
It's the
car
worst.
smaller?
There'd be no reason you'd want your car smaller.
Oh, there's nothing better than commentary. People laughing at their own idiotic ideas.
But I mean, just all the backstory of all this
This
stuff.
came from a Quigley. This
Oh yeah.
this movie that everyone should go out and see that Gary Busey's in called Quigley, where one of the special features was this segment where one of the actors just kept walking on exactly like that.
It was unbelievable.
Oh man, you just gotta everyone go rent Quigley.
Please watch Quigley.
And look at the extra features. 3 times Beaver Boys in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Powerful.
the
That
wraparound
was
for this one.
Yeah.
This was a big shoot.
People went nuts for this.
It's
Beaver
really
Boys.
good to create some characters that other people can dress up like.
Yeah.
It's very simple to go out and get white and look like the Beaver Boys. That's why the Blues Brothers did their thing.
Yeah, yeah. One of my friends was like, "How come they don't talk? How come they like never talk?" I was like, "It's their actions say everything. It's
Yeah.
just the persona and the fact that
The
they're
Blues Brothers never talked.
no, not once, no."
Ugh.
There's a
Makes
beaver.
me sick thinking
Yeah,
about
this was very disgusting.
How
Again,
much,
in
how much wine
entertainment,
did you guys actually drink?
it was all grape juice, guy.
yeah.
Come on, Josh.
But you
You
know,
worked
it
here
was,
long
it was
enough.
puking and then having our interns clean that up. I felt so bad. Then.
Real shrimp too. It wasn't the fake shrimp that you see on Hollywood movies.
Not movie shrimp.
Look where these little.
Why did that
titles go.
Tim just come up there? That was the worst.
Well, Josh, it's been a pleasure working with
It was
you.
good seeing you, Josh. Thank you for getting us lunch and getting us sodas when they're not cold enough.
And make sure they're cold.
Taking out the trash and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, did you have a cold?
I was sick the whole second half of this season. So
Tim's dead.
it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, you sounded terrible at the end there.
Thank you. What kind of gum is that?
Raspberry.
We got Jon Mugar with us today, aka Crank.
He is a producer on the show. He's also our tour manager. He does the casting on the show,
But
writing.
probably not responsible for casting somebody like Will Forte, who's just ready to go. Is that right?
Well, I'll get a name like that, and then I'll have to actually get them in the door.
You'll throw us some options. You'll say, do you want Jim Dunbar or Will Forte? And we'll say, get Will Forte.
As long as it's, yeah.
What do you? Walk us through the process. Say if it's a celebrity we don't know, what do you do to try to get them on the show?
I'll have to dig up their manager and agent's information, and I'll typically send them a copy of our shows from season 1. It's always a help.
Which is this season that we're watching.
Yeah, and this episode is actually one of the copies I usually send them.
Oh, wow.
And why is that?
I thought 7 and 8 personally were particularly strong episodes, just because they feature a lot of extra guests, so they can see what kind of role they just fit into if they came on the show.
A lot of people ask me, where do you find these crazy people, i.e., some of the extras and stuff? How do you find those?
The internet. They're just on the.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, there are some casting sites out there where you just have to post that you're looking for people for TV, and a lot of people respond with headshots.
Would you say that
pictures.
Los Angeles is a good place to be for talent when it comes to talent for the show?
It's probably one.
There you are. That was
Yeah,
you.
that was me.
This was fun to work with all these old timers.
There's Rick Dunn. How often do you talk to Rick Dunn, you think, on an average? Especially during that period.
Once
a week?
Peak like once or twice a day.
Wow. These guys were great, though. And we shot so much of this, and that's the hard part of doing this show is that it's so fast paced and
Warren was so great for that one.
problem with these commentaries is you take a break and then you eat like 9 or 10 butter crackers. You gotta wash it down with some soda.
This is a great Doug Lussenhop moment.
Am I gonna shave for this segment? Nah.
You gonna cover up a pimple on your forehead? No.
Nah.
It's real.
I think you've won the same place.
Yeah.
Which kind of works for some reason.
It kind of lines up.
Yeah.
John, how is it working with two men, having to look at two men like this all the time in different outfits and stuff?
It's not ideal, but you'll see in the next segment that sometimes the job is perks.
Talk about Abby. How did you get her?
I went through a modeling website actually for adult film stars because you guys had specified that you wanted. There's a man right there you guys wanted.
Was there anything specific about her that we were interested in?
This is actor Derek Cross, who
right there.
Now, does she, in terms of adult films, what level does she do? Is it hardcore?
It's very basic, highbrow almost.
so it's like something you'd see on Cinemax or
Yeah.
So none of the old in and out
No.
because she's married.
Not yet.
This is a segment somebody like my parents don't like. You know, they don't think this is particularly amusing. To get so intimate.
You can put me in that group.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that we shot this at Entertainium where they shoot a lot of adult films.
Blurring the lines a little bit.
Really.
Crank, you're kind of a conservative man.
Yeah, a little bit.
You dress conservatively. Not unlike myself, but
Which we appreciate because most of the men in this office have comedy shirts, cat sweatshirts, long hair, beard.
cowboy shirts,
It's
long
refreshing
beards.
to work with a man that's trimmed up.
He's a respectable, especially as a producer who's got to be dealing with the outside world so much. Sort of like the serious front of our organization here.
And don't you feel like I kind of have to do that?
Yeah, can you imagine
this-
Bagels coming in to like Ben Berman? You know,
I
hi,
don't know where
smell
I
like
am.
cigarettes.
I don't know where I am. I
Here.
was still drunk
hi.
from the night before.
Oh, I saw this really cool indie rock band last night. Oh,
I went and saw Jonathan Richman.
oh, you're good,
No,
and
who
Christopher.
knew? But you are a betting man, correct?
But yeah. a
You do
little
like
bit.
the wagering at work, spend. How much of your income do you think goes directly to paying bets?
I don't know what you mean. You mean stock market or?
No, well that's
Why don't
one
you tell-
form of gambling, but
Oh, you
just
mean bets around the office?
side bets and poker. And
We should
everything.
probably talk about
30%.
the Grammys. The Grammys is an award show that we had last season, and we picked the best moments of the season. And Jon Mugar and I had many bets on each one, and
How many categories would you say there were? Maybe 20,
it's 20,
and you won 18 of them.
18.
$5 each.
So, yeah, there's a lot of money I got handed over at end of the evening, and I felt good about it.
So here's some footage we shot at the Pasadena Doodah Parade. What was it?
Doodah Parade.
Doodah Parade. It's a real parade in Pasadena, California. We entered the parade and got the float and everything, and we just did it. We just went out there and just went on a limb.
The actual experience of doing this is much better than the footage that you're seeing because we did this for about an hour down this. It was like
We were
100
smacking
degrees.
people in the face. There's Brule. Just smacking people in the face with hot dogs. And we
Someone
got
fire
we
back.
got thrown a lot of stink bombs. Apparently there must have been a
Yeah.
sale on stink bombs that day or something.
I actually drove that float from
You did?
Santa Monica over to the Pasadena parade
wow,
at 6
that's
in the
right.
morning.
How long is that? How long is that truck?
I should not have been driving a vehicle that size. I'll tell you that right now.
You did not have that
Didn't have
class
that kind of
license.
license.
Richard's great in this episode here. That hair is just a little too long. Not parting the right way.
I think we gave him lines in that. He just didn't want to say them.
My voice is starting to go at this point, and you'll see in the next episode where it really goes, and it's real deep. How do you get out of a bit? A couple explosions.
Maria
Talk about alternative
Bamford.
comedians. One of the queen of alternative comedy here, Maria Bamford.
Some people would say, "Why do you have so many men in your show?"
My reply would be, check the record, check the
Just the record. Here's
facts.
Maria.
Yeah, we also have Maria Bamford.
It's also, you guys rarely let me cast a woman or a man under 45. And if you look at the casting notices for the past year and a half, it's been men, preferably mustached, from 45 plus.
Gray to white in hair color.
Prepared to improvise on set.
Do you have improv experience? No. Fine. Show up at 10 p-
but be
10 a.m.
prepared to improvise.
If
Are
you're
you
not
ever-
an actor, that's better.
Are you ever nervous about bringing someone in because of the content of a bit?
Strictly speaking,
I'm constantly
this season,
nervous about that.
this season 1, because we're right in the middle of making season 2 right
Yeah.
now. What has been the most embarrassing script to send to potential talent?
In season 1,
Yeah.
it's going to take me a little while to dig that one up.
Well, that's why we should prepare before we go into
No dick porno.
commentaries.
We just saw
There you
it.
go. Fine. See, just trying to make it seem natural. Oh, I like this segment.
You don't like it?
I said
Yeah.
I like this segment.
I gotta tell you, I was skeptical about this one.
You were the worst this day. This is our last shoot before Christmas.
I was,
Oh, wow.
was I
You were
cranky?
so just negative, and you were promising me we wouldn't use certain shots, and why
Oh,
were we
yeah.
making you do it? And we wound up using shots that you never thought would get in there.
It's just something that there's some bits that people can just hang on to a little bit. They're like, I've been there, I've been down that road, I've been in that position.
I remember being really. It was only downstairs. It wasn't like I had to go anywhere.
Such an easy shoot for you guys. Your natural clothes downstairs.
And John Krisel did a great job of actually making this interface work. So that when Eric pressed it, it did it.
It was just a flat screen. CD.
Targus.
Targus became a big buzzword. Then we found out that Targus is actually something else too.
It's a real thing. Oh, tie it together. Don't mind if I do.
Starring lickety splits.
Will Forte is
Oh,
one
I
of the
love
few
this.
people that can. He was so happy to be able to just scream and do whatever he wanted to do.
People really enjoy coming on the show and just screaming and freaking
Yeah.
out. It's like a playground.
This shoot was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, some special effects, but the stakes were kind of low.
Yeah.
This was another thing that we had to shoot after doing this segment because this segment needed some explaining.
This particular bit, I remember feeling so overwhelmed by these old men. They took over. Remember that? They took over the set.
A lot of abrasive personalities, too.
Yeah. Richard Dunn, though, I remember still being the outsider among these men.
He was.
He just suggests this one idea that I would love to do.
His hair's yellow.
I know.
I planted Ian Kerr, and I knew he had this weird British accent. And I was just waiting for you guys to ask him a question.
Yeah,
And you
I
actually
think-
lost it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you hired a Brit in the midst of all this people.
Some of them were a little too like Borscht Belt, though. They're a little too hacky.
That was my fault.
It's bad writing, Crank. Don't blame yourself. This was a Doug Lussenhop creation here.
I love that.
Yeah. Doug's one of his original concepts was you're gonna be on a jet. We were gonna be on jet skis or something.
No. I wish that just would have kept going.
Yeah. There you are again.
Wow, this is a big day for you.
Yeah.
Another episode ending with apologies. There's much cleaning to be done.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's good seeing
you,
you. We
Tom.
don't see
Yeah.
enough of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy holidays, whatever you're up to.
All right.
Going back to Boston,
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Boston.
Northeastern Yankee.
It's Tim's dad.
So this is, you know how Adult Swim does those bumps, those things before the show?
No.
What is that?
Those little
Tell me
things.
about it.
We decided to skewer that, a little lampooning. John, what do you want?
Well, I did come up with that, but
Yeah.
Oh, wow, look at this segment. Wow. Talk about a couple of friends just having a little bit of fun.
yeah, this is classic.
This is a nice episode that felt like a real TV show.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people commented that, okay, here's a story I could follow.
I was actually really watching a lot of 24 around this time. I think you were too, John.
Yeah.
I was watching Lost.
So we knew the beats. You know, we knew.
This is exactly like a 24 episode.
This is exactly what happens on 24. Big Jack Bauer, black and white, glossies.
There's some good physical comedy coming up.
It's
here.
kind of like a Three Stooges episode, a little bit.
Color timing.
What's
It's
this?
great.
Ding. What's that? The air conditioner that you guys use to keep your your offices cool? Yeah. Well, you didn't have central air? Yeah, we did, but it didn't work. The great Neil Hamburger.
How did this all come about? That
Well, we were not friends with him, but we were admirers of his. Probably one of the only stand-up comedians that makes me scream and cry laughing when he performs. And we just wanted him to be in the show and came up with this idea. He gets the
That's great that we messed with the intro credits there.
really takes the intro down a notch.
Yeah. Slows everything down.
Not moving at all.
Freeze frame.
This is
John, you had to do a lot of
I did
little
my
transitions.
voice.
This is complicated here.
yeah. This is the real Channel 5 in LA studios.
There was a lot of logic issues, like, well, how are they actually watching this if they don't have the tape? And
Right.
oh, we'll just throw on an old episode, or it's complicated, man.
Which one? Oh yeah, this one. Your breast.
These two guys, guys and girls.
A live newscast with a cut in it.
The loop like that.
Somebody's doing some magic in the booth. This is just going for the another poop joke coming our way. Look at
No
those
floor.
shoes on the floor. Look at
Look
those
at those New
sneakers.
Balance just made it in there.
It's fine.
I mean,
They sold so many New Balance bases.
Do balance. Jan's got those Star Trek sideburns going.
cheddar cheese, and egg sandwiches. Of course, I had no movements at all for Thursday or Friday, which was distressing in its own way. And that's pretty much it, Jan. Wayne?
Well, Steve, I've got a question. Do scientists know why we get diarrhea?
Did I really make that sound, or was that a
yeah,
sound
no,
effect?
it's real.
So you just never know when you're watching if it's something that was made or it's like looped or backwards.
This was like I cut this brule like right after we shot it, and it just sat around.
Oh yeah.
And then we pulled it out at the end of the season. It was like, damn, this is
Yeah.
funny.
I miss having that diarrhea board up next to our lunch table.
Yeah.
So would you guys do more than one diarrhea joke in one season? Yeah, we'll do two.
Two.
Would they be right next to each other in running order? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Bob one?
Yeah.
That's the best face ever.
Yeah, this is the magic face. Wayne, it's like some stock
footage
photo.
of Wayne's sad birthday.
Such a small cake. Oh, look at this.
John, how did you do this?
I
Spider-Man
don't even
technique
know.
or something.
Sometimes we'd watch a rough cut of an episode and we'd be like, that's a downer.
Yeah, this
John would
was
work.
one.
John would work all night on those things.
This took a long time to come together. nothing really substantial changed about it. It's just finding
all
those
those
little
connections.
Yeah, that music just breathes life back into the show.
I remember thinking, this is a Tom Goes to the Mayor episode. It's so complicated. Got to get from point A to point B, and then it worked out. Awesome.
How was your experience different working on Tom than Awesome Show?
Well, one was an animated show. But
Is one more fun to make, or is it just as hard challenging?
It's more fun because you get some good footage and
sometimes
you can just watch it. You don't
You don't have to make stuff up out of thin air.
Exactly. So
this was that shoot there was challenging because we're not very good. We weren't good at the time. Often we'd have inexperienced shooters, and the lighting was problematic. And
it doesn't matter. The bit does not suffer at all.
No. But a lot of it we couldn't use just because we couldn't see anything.
People love this part.
I love this a lot. This is some more local TV inspired stuff.
Yep.
Trying to get people to watch Five.
My wife loved this joke a lot. Fiverr.
Only the second prank call on the show, and probably something you won't see much of these.
Wait, who is that kid? He was an intern here or something?
No.
Oh, he's
an
the
extra.
super fan.
Oh, he's the kid who won AwesomeCon.
Right.
Which is a well-deserved win.
That's a great Doug joke, rimmed by Gord.
So many great websites. We should release a book of just photographs of the websites from Tom and this show. Boar is down there.
Whore.
Whore.
I love that old laptop. Ew. What happened to my face that weekend?
You eat a lot of Doritos.
We eat a lot of chocolate and drink a lot of soda at work.
We plumped up so much by working in Hollywood. Most people come out here and are like, yeah, we get healthy. Too many chocolates and
Brian
sodas.
Wilson.
Just watch the Cat Film Festival next to some of his stuff.
It's our Fat Elvis stage. And so I guess, there's this live bug that we put up there that is during some segments, not other segments.
Well, I think it's all the hamburger segments.
Now this is still live.
Yeah.
3 minutes to air.
This is one of my favorite segments.
These guys, this guy looks like Rip Taylor. The other guy looks like Burt Reynolds. Burr Reynolds.
This could have started the early fake cameo.
Yeah.
A lot of great green screen work in there, John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit like our old short World Championship Sexy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We look good in these outfits, though.
Very slimming.
Yeah.
I just wish we really could live in a world where arguments were settled by little men that would dance.
This shot took about 3 days. I'm not exaggerating.
Really? Just
This
what
drums?
is that? What is
The
that?
whole
3
thing.
days? Is it just doing the same thing over and over again, or is it starting over? Is it?
I didn't. We actually hired an outside person to come to it.
There's the beginnings of my trumpet humor.
Wow.
They're a dime a dozen. Stupid.
I remember Tim being like, can we cut that out? And I'm like, no. There's Michael Schmidt, who played Joy Peters.
Yeah, this guy's great. Michael.
Michael Schmidt is great acting
Listen to
in
that
this scene.
voice, though.
Why hasn't that guy come back on the show?
That's a good question.
Sometimes stuff just looks too good, though. Look at how nice that
I
looks.
know.
That beautiful.
It was a fluke, though. That was me.
This is all John Krisel here.
This is amazing.
Yeah, this
John.
was based on a report that I read about kids getting trapped in these toy machines. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the hole in the bottom is so big, you can
I
crawl
don't
in
know,
there.
but kids do it.
And this is and then you got Doug Lussenhop coming up
Yeah.
here.
Well, we were trying to cast a child, and I said, I think I can just do it with Doug.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he did. Look at that scary
It's
face.
one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Season 1, Brule would always have a Brule's role.
I know, because they were short.
His hair was really short here, too.
Yeah, he got nuttier season 2.
Classic
Skinnier and
freeze
nuttier.
frame.
Back into the
vortex.
Matrix.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Right up here,
on
sir.
the right, sir.
Right there.
There it is. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
And we haven't talked about the Curb Your Enthusiasm music that's running through this. Very controversial move, but
I was just so worried that Larry David would find out somehow and not understand that it was an homage because we're just lampooned so much.
Yeah, it is a bit of a lampoon.
It just works so
And then
well.
we're also making fun of Adult Swim in the same scene here.
Well, that's their actual building.
showing their- And that lady works.
That's the head
She
of
wrote-
Slop,
yeah.
And it
And
goes.
now we're back. Now this is the real show that you're
Right.
about to see.
Right. Of course, more Casey. With Casey with a beard.
A big goiter.
You see with a mascara beard.
What song was that from?
Chop Suey. That's one of our promos we did.
Yeah.
Tom Goes to the Main. So there was two storylines running here. There was the competition and the getting the tape.
Right.
Multi-layered.
Yeah, that's why it was so complicated.
This shoot was quite uncomfortable for certain members of the crew because he was fully nude.
And if we could somehow arrange one day for the box to be removed, what a surprise under there.
Yeah.
What a treat.
That box is actually twice as big as it needs to be.
That's
Yeah.
right.
The network made us make it bigger because they thought it should. But it
I think
really
you just
didn't
needed
need
to
be.
remove a couple pixels, right?
Yeah.
And there it is.
Another great Engine Room Studios production.
It's Tim's dad. Anniversary episode, Tim.
This is an old idea. None of these ideas are new ideas.
Right.
They all come before the episode gets made.
As
It's
soon
one of
as
the
you,
keys.
as soon as you think about it, it's an old one.
I think this was an idea that we wanted to do a special for like Comedy Central or somebody like that, where we would celebrate our careers, but we
Right.
would never have made anything yet.
Right. The idea was to celebrate two guys that
Don't deserve
you
it
don't.
yet.
Episode 9, you
Yeah.
don't celebrate yet.
No.
But we thought that concept was pretty funny.
Here's Tom Kenny, Mr. Show veteran, voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, and one of the funniest men to live on the planet.
Absolutely. And we actually peppered in. Look at that. Pierre's there.
Ron Stark's in the back. You might say Ron Starks is in the front row.
And
it's-
Ron Stark is in the
We've
third row.
recently found out that Ron Oster, the man who plays Pierre, his real name is Ron Starks. If you could imagine the moment where we found that news out, being one of the greatest moments of our life.
Come in. Oh, it's locked.
Yeah, open the door. This might be...
Hey, sir. I'm Eric
Hi.
Wareheim.
What a pleasure.
Good to meet you.
You're great
It's an
on the
honor.
show.
It's
Well,
an honor to
likewise.
meet
Hey,
you.
I'm Tim.
Honor.
Tim, what a pleasure.
Nice
both
to
of you
meet you.
guys.
Come on in.
We're just doing commentary for our
Marker on
season
the
one.
mouth, a little jawline. I don't know what it is. Genius. Something about it.
The thin goatee.
Rocked my world.
Oh, geez, thank you so
No
much.
mention of it, just did it. Very nice. In the episode I saw, there was no mention. I was very good.
Yeah. You just had to.
Jesus, thank you so much.
Thank
I mean,
you,
you're on the top of our list too.
Well, thank
so.
you. It's really good.
Well, that was fun. Ed Begley Jr. just came by.
Yeah, you know that's the beauty of recording, doing everything out of one office. You never know who's going to stop by.
He was a really nice guy, and he was actually a tall man. He was like 6'5".
It's a tall man.
It's refreshing just to work with someone that's my height.
Comes from the Christopher Guest School of Improvisation. That's where we kind of fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Professionally.
Had me cracking up. I heard you crack up so loud that it probably got into his mic. You know, just like that got into my mic and would destroy this take. Can we back it up? We spent about half of our budget on there, and then he sees a few fans that got to be in there.
Look at that tiny jacket that Bob had to wear. It's a little makes his head look really big.
Yeah.
Again, that's our little corner office there.
And that's Bob Odenkirk, the godfather to us, took our hands into Hollywood, helped us make Tom Goes to the Mayor, helped us make a lot of these, the first season of Awesome Show. Just came in and gave us his wisdom.
One early thing he said was, you know, every show should have a theme. It shouldn't be just, you know, random nuttiness, which we were already thinking anyways, but he reinforced that idea in our minds.
I would say a couple of the best moments for me working on the show is when we would show clips to Bob, and he would laugh so hard that he'd be crying and screaming. That's probably the best feeling of all of this. And also making him put green paint on his face.
The logic of this commercial, where you have you're trying to induce diarrhea to get out of doing things, is typical of our show. I think, kind of confusing and.
Tim, you've actually used that excuse on me many times, and then I see all that green paint on your face, so I know you used Easy Cream.
What's the difference? And there's our old friend Richard Dunn coming back. Simple idea. Richard took it and ran with it. Those giant ears.
That's the classic Richard right there.
Yeah.
The cool Richard, vacation Richard.
And what would that blue jacket Richard be? Just Gap Richard.
Yeah, that's like right out of college Richard.
One thing Eric and I hate is, or we shouldn't say hate. One thing Eric and I detest is things like, Whose Line Is It Anyway, or comedy sports.
Yeah, I wonder what those people think of us, because it's obvious that we're
just making fun of their techniques.
Yeah, they try very hard to do something, and cheers to them for doing that. I would just say it's something we don't prefer, and it's something that we do care to lampoon.
Yeah.
If you asked us, do you want to lampoon your fellow peers in the comedy business, the answer would be yes.
Depending on the circumstances. Now listen to this voice acting I'm doing here. It sort of broke the rules for us about how good something can be.
You were sick, so
I was very sick.
You had a little help with your acting, I would say.
That is a condition where I just went with it. My body knew I needed to be in that state.
I changed my voice to a woman, and that was pure acting, and you had just a little bit of help. So,
but I'm on a spiritual level. My body is so in tune with the work I need to be doing that it can actually physically change. If it means getting sick, so be it. That's the suffering that I pay for my craft.
Well, we all appreciate it, Tim. Thank you.
That also is no makeup involved. So
that is pretty impressive.
That's body shifting. It's using expression to do things.
I took about a week off to learn how to ride this rascal. I think I did a pretty good job.
That's the difference. I mean, you use time to your advantage, where I use my spirituality to get to the character.
Right.
In no time.
You do some great spit work. I have to give you that for this. It's very disgusting, but it makes me laugh every time.
I just like a guy that can't control the saliva in his mouth. No wrinkles. Clean skin.
This was improvised, if I remember. That's not an actress.
This is the one thing that we kind of had a choreographer in.
Oh, that must have been the week that I was learning how to ride the rascal when you were doing that choreography.
We spent $100,000 on a choreographer who just mapped out every step. Dot standing right off camera.
It's a really nice story.
John Krisel brought this idea in to a writer's meeting. Sally Field.
Mike Lasso's son. We are slightly obsessed with MIDI songs, old computers.
Forgotten technology.
Yeah. And we decided to make this commercial that wouldn't even be good when MIDI was around.
Yeah.
This also reminds me of a show called Look Around You, which is...
If you haven't seen Look Around You, go on YouTube or whatever web portal you use and type in Look Around You and watch one of the greatest shows that come out of England since American Idol.
Spice Girls.
She plays it up a little bit there.
Yeah. I remember having to cut around
You gotta
those
cut
faces.
around. Some people you just gotta cut around. No offense. if
Look at
you're
that
watching
shiny
this.
sweater. That was his, right?
Yeah.
These actors, our casting guy, Jon Mugar, finds these amazing people to play these roles. And a lot of times he says, just bring your own wardrobe, and that's what we use.
But are you gonna design a sketch around numbers? About the idea of numbers, hoping to be funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go for it.
See, numbers aren't traditionally funny, but oh, here comes Grum. Oh, Grum is so scary to look at.
We shot there's a whole story about Grum that Tim and I split up. Tim started a show called Grum and Me. And we actually have lots of footage of that.
Of explaining that storyline.
He's kind of a Jar Jar Binks guy that was introduced maybe in the 40th year of Tim and Eric Awesome Show.
Well, he's obviously a lampoon. If you've seen any, award ceremonies where they have the characters from cartoons come out and interact with the audience. Spaghetti House, mentioned twice in this episode.
Spaghetti is one of these jokes that we have so many times in our shows, and I don't even know why it
sounds really good.
It's just a great, I don't even laugh at it or think it's that funny, but I feel like we have to use it so much.
I think in the world of our show, and Tom Goes to the Mayor too, there really aren't that many foods.
Right.
You know, you have spaghetti and you have a couple other foods.
Like meats, a lot of
hot
old
dogs.
meats.
Sort of like growing up. When we grew up, there was only, 5 or 6 foods that you knew about. You didn't know about pad thai or sushi or...
There wasn't even an option.
Kansas City ribeye.
And many people go through their life without enjoying those things.
Another show ending with a very emotional song. Davin and I cranked out. There's Stark sticking in his background there.
Matt Harrigan just said this one wasn't very catchy.
I like this song.
I think he's right.
It's not great.
It's a good song. I'm saying it's a good song. It's no like poke on, is what I'm trying to say.
It's emotional. You can see right there from Oster.
I think the artist portrayed me a little heavy in those sketches.
Yeah.
See there? That's pretty. It's pretty big.
Seated.
Yeah. John Lovitz. This part's
John
good,
Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
This little storyline is pretty wonderful. Me
They
having
have children
all of your
together.
children. Wait, just one kid? No.
Ew. Great work from our former artist, Spoo.
Great stuff.
Dorn.
Big blue tear. Tim's done. Hi guys, we're here with the edit staff. John Krisel, Doug Lussenhop,
Present.
Ben Berman.
Just a cautionary warning, Doug has a carrot with him, so if you hear some eating during the commentary, that's what you're hearing.
Now he's just got for you that can't see him, he's got a nub and he just picked it up so he can probably give an example of what that sounds like.
We asked for 10 minutes of his time to come and sit here and share his thoughts, and he had to bring in that loud carrot.
The other two editors, one does have a beard.
So this is a shot in the streets of Los Angeles. John Krisel, Ben Berman, and me went out, right?
Jon Mugar.
Night shoot.
It was a fun shoot, I remember.
It was really scary. We went some weird, dark places in this city.
It was a very Lynchian episode. Very cinematic. I'm very proud of it. John, were you sick of comedy for a little bit and wanted to do a little drama? Is that why we went that direction?
Well, sometimes the horror and scaring is just as fun as comedy.
But mixed with this, which is just pure comedy here. I mean, it's a little a sneak peek of what Tim and Eric Night Live was going to be.
Yeah. I remember coming into this not knowing much about it and not wanting to know what was going to really happen.
Often that's the way we set up bits. We kind of have a little set built that is just a germ of an idea, and then it's just shoot away. Ben, you're shooting on this, right?
Yeah.
Was it fun to shoot this kind of acting?
It was a blast. There's just so much stuff going on.
Talk about two dicks.
Talk about working with these two dicks every day and shooting them every day. Nothing to say about
Talk
it.
about that. You guys.
That was real laughing there. That's really cracking up.
You wore that sweatshirt on the Hamburger show, right?
I did. That was a big. People really want the Rascals.
Look how well you guys talk about the VHS thing that's going on here, Doug. Now.
I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with this episode.
Just pretend you did.
This was a
and you guys dragged me in here.
This was a technique that Tim was kind of spearheading about. What if we transfer a beautifully shot thing to VHS and then put it back on the show? We started that on Tom Goes to the Mayor, and it looks awesome for that lo-fi.
But some of these great, like video toaster effects.
Ben was the pioneer behind Casey and his Brothers Look.
Yeah, that is true.
And we're all pioneer. We all have a
Pioneering
part.
spirit.
We're all part of it. Doug, not at all for this episode, as he said. Doug, do you want to
Well,
leave?
not with that clip that Tim wanted me to talk about.
What are you
Right.
talking about?
I did make that stamp, by the way.
Well, Doug, you did a lot of the Brule segments, right? You cut a lot of the Brule segments. That's sort of like, here's a piece of gold. Just, shine it up a little bit.
Asham.
This shouldn't be too hard.
This is you, Doug.
Here's a Doug Nug.
Well, Tim wrote Booger. He's trying to do. I wrote the bowel and the turd, which are
He's trying to
poo
copy
related.
your
And
style.
then he's like, I got a new one. Booger. And then, that's not really.
It's a little more sophisticated.
That's not from the butt. It's from the nose.
Right.
So it didn't work.
Well, it definitely
But I
did
made
work.
a funny commercial out of it anyway. So.
This guy was awesome.
Yeah. Kind of a Norman Fell character.
For someone that's not a writer, it's fun to try to guess which writer came up with which bit. It's actually very hard to do. You think that a Wareheim would be obviously a Wareheim, but it's not.
It's not. I like this bedtime look. You think it's too dark, John?
I don't know, maybe this is TV.
This is a
bad
dark
angle on that.
TV.
We're watching this on a black and white TV, so it's a little hard to tell how
Deep
things
in
really
Doug's
look.
basement. It's so dank in here. It's the only place we can afford to do our commentary.
That's a weak joke, pocket booger.
That was your joke, Tim.
I'm so what?
Oh,
You know, it says products not sold separately.
Yeah, of course. That
And comic kits.
just disappointed, bloated.
Your eyebrows are so up. Like,
I love that mustache.
I love the open how his eyes are open in that kiss.
only pupils.
some
course.
people would ask, why would you put a mess up in your actual television show? And we say that's because that's the funny part. Who made this? Ken McIntyre made these?
McIntyre.
What? He did? That's
Big
a German
Mac.
Shepherd with a possum, right?
Doug, were you a little jealous that another man was creating, new characters using two different animals?
Rascals was an idea that we had for the prank phone calls when we went down to Phoenix.
No.
Yeah, it was.
I was answering Eric's question.
Oh, okay. We
You
can
cut me
fix
off.
that
I tried
later.
to slip it in.
I love this little foot. I love this song too, Tim.
Thank
Doubling
you
up
very
on
much.
the audio here. I noticed right over.
What?
John, how did you make this look like a movie? Is it on film mode?
Please, we have to talk about the Christmas tree that's about to come.
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw Christmas tree. This was just
That's
a
Jon
happy
Mugar
accident.
driving around.
Okay. Yeah, so we found a Christmas tree and we're just like, Tim, here's some prop comedy.
Oh, okay.
This is-
That's my forte. Put
This-
me on the street with a Christmas tree. Watch me go nuts. Use it as a flag. Why not? Dr. Yankovic.
Poo-poo. poo joke.
Do you want a poo joke? You got one.
You got it.
This was actually shot in the behind Entertainium, where we shoot a lot of our.
Yeah.
And this hobo who came, he would only dress like the nicest clothes. We're like, you're a hobo. Put
Yeah.
some hobo.
I think he was in Deadwood. That guy.
Yeah, I think he was.
One of these jokes that got cut out that I really loved is Jan says, "Keep it the same. This is my father's haircut."
Just a woman having her father's hair.
How was it working with John C. Reilly so closely and intimately
Disappointing.
like
Like there's no floor on
There's no floor.
Early Brule.
He never has a floor.
Early Brule. It's the last episode of the season.
When it was shot first. No? True. Yeah.
I wonder if you can tell if Wayne's upset about this. Maybe I should have played it down a little bit.
Oops. This is a little nuts here. Yeah, people. The whole episode's just a mess, isn't it? Things falling apart.
Dr. Nebo.
Oh yeah, it's our producer Dave Kneebone there. And this is Lussenhop here. There he is,
Yeah.
grabbing the mic. Talk about that technique.
There's a technique if you toggle between different frames and then record it to a tape. You can't really get that
Right.
look or that sound with a. By
Would you say that Eric and I create an environment where we allow that kind of editing style to happen? Would you frame it that way?
We gotta say, a lot of the times Tim and I will go and shoot some total and give it to you guys, and most of the time you guys come out with a nice project.
For example, this.
For example, this.
I gotta say, Bob Odenkirk came in and watched this, and he said to me, "It's great. What are you gonna have come up here? What's this gonna be?" And I said, "Nothing. We're not gonna put anything. It's gonna be all in their minds." And he yelled at me. He said, "That's a terrible idea, and you gotta put something in there. You got to." And I said, "Bob, when we do the commentary for this, I'm gonna explain what this conversation, and if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I think we were right. I think putting something in here would have ruined it."
well, I'd like to see it with something in there before you make that call and just say
We-
that Bob was wrong.
Look at
No.
that acting,
before you
yeah.
talk
No, this
trash
is not a
about him
democracy.
on the-
I'm not talking trash.
Well-
You're talking trash.
I think putting something in front of my acting would have ruined the whole bit.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, I just want to talk about this scene because this is one of our most cinematic scenes in the show history, I think.
Absolutely.
So much planning to get that van to turn those lights on.
Yeah.
Walking
And you guys were on a truck dollying away.
just not normal for the show.
And wasn't
Stuff
it
they
really
don't
late
teach
at
you.
night or something?
Yeah. Stuff they don't teach you in film school, right, John?
That's true. Trying to little Coen Brothers style here.
And we mixed a little of two different bits, a Mahanahan. Everyone's coming together
The
for this
universe.
last.
The universe of the show is meeting each other.
It's a little preview of the Tim and Eric Awesome movie, I gotta say.
I think so too.
Spoiler alert.
This is some dark getting into this van.
Oh, there's Pep Pep.
This
What
guy
about
was
that
not
guy? What's
happy.
up
That
with
guy
that?
was not happy to be in this show.
Yeah, we hired a small man as our second small man of the season, and we said, "You're just gonna be a furry rabbit animal."
Creature.
It's very hard to say that to another man.
And you're going to be in a cage.
And you're gonna be in the cage.
But what did the Lord of the
You mean
Rings
he
guys
wasn't
do?
stoked about that?
I just feel like I'm such a tall man. It's hard for me to say it. You know, if there's another short man to say that.
Yeah, but we weren't. It wasn't like we were doing a midget joke. It was like we wanted there to be this unidentified creature back there. You know.
Would you guys say that you
do
have an
the job.
obsession with like tiny things and like small things and
Oh, absolutely.
To be continued.
Find out.
On a comedy show, on a sketch comedy show, to be continued. Is that breaking new ground? The answer is yes.
Caged mutant.
Guys, the shows are short.
Who do you miss the most out of all these people? Eric Nilsson?
Matt Edwards. Listen.
Well, that's the whole. That's the
I'm
whole
gonna say
season.
Corwin.
Thank
That's
you.
the whole season. Thank you for coming.
It's Tim's dad.